You got it. You got it. Here, take it. Take it. Take everything. Take everything. Take everything. Take everything. Take everything. Just for a while. Here. You got it. You got it. Here, take it. Take it. Take everything. Take everything. Take everything. Take everything. Take everything. Just for a while. Here.
Good morning, Owasso. This is the Twins with Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop. Today's subject is crime statistics don't lie. And what's funny about this whole thing is that the reason we're talking about this particular subject is because yesterday a article came out from the UK, of all places, and the Labour Party. The Labour Party is like the Democrat Party over here, or maybe even worse. They're more like they're more socialist communist over there than we are over here. And than our Democratic Party is over here. And the Labour Party put out a study to figure out who's committing the majority of the crimes, hoping that, again, the narrative, it's like it's going to be native white British-born citizens who are committing the lion's share of violent crimes. Well, guess what? It's immigrants. And immigrants from Africa and immigrants from the Middle East that are committing the lion's shares of the crimes in their country. So when the study you commission backfires perfectly, again, this is what happens. Labor is the party of people that's like, hey, no. Immigration is perfect. All cultures are equal. Diversity is our strength. Unity is our strength. Unity. Like, we all have to be unified in trust in our leaders, unified in free speech, unified in cultural values like Christianity, or the Christian values that made the West the best nations in the world. It's it's Christianity and Christian values that made the West the most prosperous and wonderful nations in the world. There's a reason why people are immigrating here from the Middle East and Africa, and why we're not, and why nobody from America or the UK is immigrating there. You ever think about that? We've showed multiple videos like that one little breakdown video. Do you ever wonder why these people are moving here and why no one who lives here is moving back there? And like the left would just be like, it's just because of jobs and economics factors, purely economic factors. That's not true. If it was just economic factors, we should be able to send them tons of money and they would be able to solve all their problems. Mm-hmm. Money's not the problem. Culture is. Bad cultures are the problem. If all cultures are equal, why isn't every place in the world just like America? Yep. So anyway, Chad's got a bunch of charts and stats and statistics we're just going to look over today. So it's going to be a very article and statistics and charts heavy kind of day. So whenever you're ready, Chad, just start blowing through what you want to talk about.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me get rid of some of the logos here real quick. There we go. All right, so this all kind of popped off with this right here. This Connie Shaw was responding to some person who used to be a Harry Potter actor or something. And it says, "These are stats from the Ministry of Justice, Sean. I'm not asking you to provide an argument. I'm asking you for a theory as to the reason why this is. I've given you my theory. Now it's time for the third time, would you like to share what you think the reason behind what these stats are? Why did Afghan men, for example, commit most of the sexual offenses per capita in England and Wales from 2021 to 2023? Which nationalities committed the most violent sexual and theft offenses?" And here she has the stats for the violent and the sexual offenses. So the violent sexual offenses and then just the sexual offenses. So it looks like here Congo wins by, it says this is per 10,000 people. Mm-hmm. So Congo, 187. Somalia, 129. Afghanistan, 102. Iraq, 91. Gambia, 80. The UK, and UK residents, people who've lived in the UK their whole life, 16. And then we go down to just the sexual ones that were, I guess you can assume, non-violent, or, which I don't understand.
Probably just catcalling, things like that. Because remember, the UK, they take all this stuff way more seriously than over here. It's like catcalling, really not that big of a deal, but feminism would have you believe it's a huge deal.
Yes. And then this one says Afghanistan 59, Eritrea 54, Namibia, I don't know how to say that, and then 50, Chad 40, Moldova 38, UK 6.
Again, folks, if all cultures are equal, why are these particular cultural communities the ones committing the lion's shares of these crimes? Again, you're talking about people coming from Africa and the Middle East, a place where women do not have rights. Like Islam, a custom and culture where women are second-class citizens, where if you are R-worded or sexually assaulted, males have to come out and give, one male's testimony is equivalent of, 2 or 3 female testimonies.
Yes,
That's the problem.
Yeah, you need 2 women for every 1 male testimony. So that's one of the reasons why they also say why in the Bible, like the fact that, Mary, like said, the fact they were taking like women's word in the Bible is like an attestament to the Bible being
true,
very pro women.
Yeah,
because they actually took women's testimony seriously, whereas that was something that didn't happen back in the day, especially under old Hebrew law.
Yeah, exactly. So again, if all cultures are equal, why is it these people are coming to your country and committing the lion's shares of these assaults?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, guys, it's just about jobs and economics, right? Clearly not.
Mm-hmm.
They don't share your values. They don't share your customs. They view you as lesser than.
Yeah.
Particularly from Islam. I mean, Africa, you might have a little bit easier time if they're not from an Islamic part of Africa, but it's a problem, folks. I mean, like I said, if you're looking at Christian Africans, like they're typically probably pretty good people. They're going to be able to adjust to the culture of the West a little easier, but Islamic African cultures, probably not, and specifically just Islam. I mean, you saw. I mean, Afghans are committing the lion's share. The people from the Congo.
Talked about that, like the one where those Christians in the Congo were all beheaded. They found that mass grave out there. It's because there's Islamic. There's a rise in Islamic in Congo and in Somalia, which is why. Imagine that. Those are the 2 top tier of the sexual violence in the UK is Congo and Somalia.
And number 2, all these people have phones courtesy of you, the taxpayer, so they're downloading Instagram and TikTok, and they're watching all these thoughts and all these e-girls shaking their booties on, TikTok and Instagram, and they're like going, this is what women are like in the West, so it'll be really easy for us once we get over there. They love migrating. It's like us. Whenever we go overseas, they like Asian chicks. Whenever we go to Japan or wherever, they love Westerners. We're going to be a bunch of show ponies over there. It's the same thing for them coming over there. We're going to go over there and we're just going to be rolling in it. But then they realize they have no resources. They have nothing. Again, it's about the women like competence and they like wealth and they like status. When you're an immigrant coming over to somewhere new, you have none of that.
Yeah, unless you're coming in as like a prince or something.
Some type of spouty prince or something. Yeah, you have none of that.
Mm-hmm. So that gets to this article over here. Says, and this is the arrests in the UK, ethnicity facts, main facts and figures. In the year ending in March 2023, there were 668,979 arrests in England and Wales, up by over 14,000 compared with the previous year. Black people were 2.2 times as likely to be arrested as white people, and there were 20.4 arrests for every 1,000 blacks and 9.4 for every 1,000 whites. Overall, men were 6 times more likely to be arrested than women, which that's always the case.
Always been the case.
I don't know why they always point that out. It's like men are more likely to commit violence or more likely to use violence against women.
Men will use force. It's like why women should not be, it's a reason why women being in the workplace and stuff has really changed the dynamic of how we interact with each other. With men, there's always the threat of force. Like if I insult another man, there's a threat that he could kick my butt or will engage in hand-to-hand combat. With men and women, there's no, unless the guy is just an absolute nut job, there's no threat of that. And like I said, women engage in reputation destruction and manipulation, not physical altercations.
Mm-hmm. Overall, said men, I already read that, black men were 2.4 times as likely to be arrested as white men. There were a 38.2 arrests for every 1,000 black men and 16.0 for every 100 white men.
And I bet the statistics lower when you take out migrants from that I bet you the
Native born.
not even native born, the culturally British black folks have, a significantly lower rate of being incarcerated than, again, because we're combining just black people in this survey and like I said, we're not accounting for the people that are coming here from a completely different culture, not young black citizens who were raised in the British with British values.
And this is another thing that people don't forget about culture. Is like there are things that are illegal in your country that are not illegal from the country that they're coming from. And this is what we talk about by they're not adapting to, the new nation that they're adopting.
Yeah.
So can you imagine it? Like I said, something that is completely illegal here. Like we talked about the people like grabbing like ducks and cats like off the street. Like, yeah, you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's normal. That's like, oh, well, we got to eat.
Yep, absolutely. So it's just one of those things where people, again, different cultures do not care. Like, I mean, like if they're hungry at the end of the day, they're going to go grab a duck and a goose off the pond. They're not going to give a crap about, how that looks when your kids are playing in the park,
Mm-hmm. So getting back to this thing, 2 things you need to know what the data measures. The data measures the number of arrests, notable offenses, and offenses for which police must complete a crime report. Arrest rates are around 1 decimal place. A rounded data was used to work out the arrest rates in different between ethnic groups. Not included in the data, the City of London Police Force is not included in the data. This is because the small number of people living in that area compared with people visiting. Okay, so they left out London because it's a tourist destination, basically. But I highly doubt
I bet you it'd be way worse.
Yeah,
I bet you it'd be way worse if they had included London.
100%, because you really think tourists don't come there to break laws.
Yeah, tourists come there to see Big Ben and the bridge, and the London Bridge.
Exactly. So they excluded London, which definitely would have raised the numbers, I would think. However, arrest rates are calculated. For each ethnic group, the arrest rate is the number of people arrested for every 1,000 people from that group. The ethnic groups used in the data. Data for 3 years from April 2020 to March 2023 used 19 ethnic groups from the 2021 census. Someone who is arrested is usually asked for their ethnicity. The circumstances of the arrest may affect the accuracy of this information. If the ethnicity is not given, it is not unknown in the table. Ethnicity was not given for 12.7% of the arrests between April 2022 and March 2023. In the 16 years from March 2023, the percentage of people arrested whose ethnicity was not known has varied. It was lowest 2% between the years of March 2009 and March 2014. The highest 15% between the years ending in March 2020 to March 2022.
And if you remember, you really can't even trust these numbers because remember they were hiding the stuff about Islamic.
Well, yeah,
people
they
for
said
those
Middle
grooming
Eastern
names.
was classified as Asian.
Yeah. But I mean, number 2, they had infiltrators, they had Islamic infiltrators who were working inside the police force who were intentionally hiding those reports as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, who knows what things got filed that didn't actually get completed, filed or stored away properly or uploaded to their electronic websites.
And this is the thing you have to ask is like this is the information that is available as well.
Well, I mean, and this is damning too. I mean, even if we're not getting all the stuff from the that was hidden from the British public, this is still profound.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And we know that those numbers would have been higher in London because that's what they said. Why isn't white race like in London a minority now? I believe
probably. Yeah. I mean, remember they market London as an international city, not as a country. I mean, it's not part of London's not part of the UK. It's an international city.
Yeah. Whatever. But read the methodology, blah, blah, blah. The data shows from April 2020 to March 2023 using the population figures from the 2021 census. This is kind of like a recap of everything we just did. So let's just scroll down. By ethnicity. So arrest rates for 1,000 people by ethnicity. All 11.2. Asian, 8.4. But they have this now. Bangladeshi on here, 8.7. Chinese, 2.8. Indian 4.5, Pakistani 11.
What's up?
My camera died back there. 11.3, Asian other 13.5, which makes me think Asian other must be Middle Eastern.
Yep.
Black 20.4, Black African 13.1, Black Caribbean 22.7.
Whoa, what's
Black,
up with the Caribbeans?
yeah, I don't know. Black other, so which means they're probably people who have, partially lived there or whatever, and they don't know exactly where they're from.
Well, the British Caribbean islands are still kind of a thing.
Well, no, that's what I
so-
said. But this one's black other 52.4%.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Mm-hmm. Then mixed 12.5. Mixed white and Asian 5.0.
What kind of Asian?
Mm-hmm. Mixed white and African 10.4. Mixed white and black Caribbean 18.
What is it with the Caribbean folks,
I
man?
don't know.
They are. Why are they so criminally minded?
I don't know. Well, like I said, we're having the same problem with the Haitians here now. So I mean,
Yeah.
that
I
was
guess
kind of the
just-
big thing during Trump's campaign was the
Well,
whole,
I guess that's what happens when you come from a tropical island environment and your island doesn't produce anything.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Where was I at? Oh yeah, mixed black, mixed white Caribbean, mixed other 15.7. White is only 9.4. White British 9.2. Gypsy or Irish traveler 17. Yeah.
An old gypsy woman
Well,
happened to be passing by.
Oh, gypsy woman happened to be passing by. Mystery Men. I love that movie. Let's see here.
Just, I can't believe that's a thing.
Yeah.
Oh
No,
my
they do. They
God.
have a gypsy problem there. I remember talking to somebody about it a while ago back in college. Irish white 10.7, Roma 0.1. I don't know what the heck that even is.
Roma?
White other. So, no, it says Roma. So it's not Roman. It says Roma. White other 11.9, other 8.7, Arab 4.8, and then any other ethnic background is 9.8. So again, strangely enough, whites is on the lower end here, and everything else seems to be higher besides like actual like Asian,
Yeah.
like Chinese and Indians.
I mean, again, it throws a wrench in the face of the Labor Party, of the Democrats. It's like, well, it's the native white population that's committing the most crimes. It's like, really? Well, then why is the data not bear that out?
Yeah. And you have to remember, this also goes off population. So that means, guess what? Population of, I don't know what the white population is of Britain. I guess I could look that up really quick.
Either
But I
way,
would assume
it's
like it has to be like 60 to 70%.
either
of
way,
the
it's a
population.
statistical anomaly compared to the immigrant population.
Yep, exactly.
I mean, you're importing a culture of criminality, a culture of people who cannot provide for themselves, a culture of people who are living on welfare. And again, when they're living on welfare and they can't afford to buy their own things, what do you think they're going to do when they see other people eating good food or wearing cool Nike shoes? They're going to go out there and be like, I'm just going to take it because everybody else is wearing them. Why can't I have them?
Yeah.
It's just part of the culture here.
Yeah. So, that's where these numbers come from. These are the statistics is you're not that big of the population. Let's just say on the low end that the British population is like at 70, the white population is at 70%. And like I said, so what people will do is how Democrats like fudge these numbers is they go, look, like right here, you can see it right here on the white one, white British and white. You've got, look, they go to the total and they go, look, that's 456,000 whites committed crimes. That means there were more crimes committed by whites than anybody else. Yes, but compared to the total population, that's relatively low for the whites. Like, then he goes, and if you go to, unfortunately, we'll just use the one that had
Caribbean.
the most, let's see, so black here, unfortunately, it is black on here, and it's black and Asian, which, again, we don't know exactly how many Asians
probably
because they
falling
have
up
Middle
too.
Eastern
Yep.
on there. So Asians is probably way higher up than it needs to be. So we'll just go with the black here since we don't know what's going on with the Asian because we don't know if that includes Middle Eastern or not in this statistic. So it says here 49,000 so almost just shy of 50,000 for the population of blacks. Now we could look up real quick the census of, which I guess we will real quick. Let's just do that. So let's just do that and Google. Then we'll say what's it called?
Black population in UK.
Yeah. So let me change over to you. Black population in UK. Wow, that's actually even scarier. It says it's barely 4% of the population from the 2021 census.
There you go. That's an awful large amount compared to uh, the actual population of the native white population. And again, that's crazy. That's a statistical anomaly. That's profound. But again, we can't have these conversations. We can't talk about this again. Again, I've heard this point too. It's like it's a relatively small amount of people. It's a small minority of the black population who are repeat offenders doing it over and over and over again, and that's true. But it's profound enough to have that level of impact statistically. That's crazy. That is crazy. That's a unicorn scenario for crime for one ethnic minority group living in the country. That's crazy.
Yep.
And you can't just say that. And again, the God of the gaps is always racism. Yeah. It's always racism. If there is a disparity, racism is the cause.
Yeah.
And if that's your mentality, which that's the Labor Party mentality, that is the Democrat Party mentality, it is stupid.
Yeah. Well, and here's the other part too: is like they forget. Like I said, that just means that they're over policing the black community. As like I said, well, that can, even if that is the case, the question is did the person commit a crime?
Yeah. Was there actually a crime committed?
Yeah. So if they committed a crime, it doesn't matter if it's over policed. It means they committed a crime. And police officers are sent to areas that have more crime. If you send police officers to an area that has relatively no crime, they're not doing anything.
Yeah, and we can't talk. And again, we're talking UK specifically. Like there was no war over slavery fought in the UK.
Yeah, there were no slaves in the UK.
So what's happening here? I mean, sure, you could say they were treated as second-class citizens compared to the native populations, but it'd be no different than a white person living in Shan. You're a second-class citizen there. You're not allowed the right to vote. You can enjoy and partake in all the culture aspects of the country, but you're not allowed to vote or take part in any of the I guess nation building process, or you don't get a say in what happens over there.
Yeah, 100%. Which now kind of led me to kind of ask the question of, is this the same thing that's kind of going on in the United States? And unfortunately, as we kind of find out, that seems to be the case.
Of course it is. Of course it is. This is the same problem repeating itself all over Western nations right now.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's really driven by Marxism. It's driven by, again, what's the greatest evil you can find in society right now? The straight white male. Therefore, all the problems are his fault. The Christian straight white male, he is the greatest evil. He has caused all the world's ails, despite the fact, again, if white Christian countries are the worst and most evil countries in the world, why are there still so many people moving to those countries? Why are so many ethnic minority groups moving to the UK, moving to the United States? How come you don't see any, anyone moving to those crap hole countries like Trump said? Why is nobody moving to the Middle East? You do not see any American whites being like, oh boy, I can't wait to go to Iraq and live there. It's going to be great.
Mm-hmm. Which brings me to this post, and Larry Elder reposted this, but I have it pulled up on both screens here. But this is the FBI's crime data report from 2013, and this is whites killed by blacks, 9.83%. Blacks killed by whites, 0.77. Whites killed by whites, 10.22. And then blacks killed by blacks, 53.94%.
This is what we're talking about when we talk about honor culture in the black community. It's like, you insulted me, you insulted my mama, you made a fool of me. Now I'm going to go. Again, it's like it could be over a Facebook post, somebody trolling somebody online. It's like, he insulted me. Let me load my gun up and I'm going to go drive by his house. And when he comes out his front door, pop, pop, pop. All right, we got him. It's this honor culture. It's like, dude, just let it go, man.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just got to take the L and walk away. And it's something that is unique to the black community. It's like, you just be like, look, just let it go, man. It's okay. Again, how many of these problems in our society and in the UK society would be solved if we shared the same cultural values as everyone here? It's like, again, here in America, it's actually going to be a little easier because it's just like, look at these people and just go, what would Jesus do? Is this where you want to be, and this is what you want to be doing when Jesus comes back? You know, like, that's something that we can work on here. The UK, it's going to be significantly harder because they have a much larger Islamic population over there now.
So if you look here,
because they don't care what Jesus does in the Islamic community.
Yep. So if you look here, we just looked this up. So U.S. population by race percentage. Whites make up 75.3%. Blacks make up just shy of 14%. Says Native Americans and Alaskans 1.3, Asians 6.4, and I'm pretty sure Hispanics make up like 24%.
Yeah,
and
sounds about right.
They're committing. The African American Committee is unfortunately committing 53. What's it, like 50% of the homicides still?
Yeah. Again, and it's on each other. And again, look at this. Again, if you think white on black crime is a problem, look at this chart. It tells you everything you need to know. It's like black on white crime or white on black crime is not a problem. Black on white crime is somewhat a problem. White on white crime is a little bit more of a problem than black on white crime is. But black on black crime is a huge problem in America.
Yeah.
And again, it comes down to fatherlessness. It comes down to the fact that most of these young men are being raised by single moms. Again, women feel like they demand and are entitled to respect from everyone in society. Men, we know we are not entitled to respect from anyone. Like when I walk into a room and I haven't proven myself, no man in that room gives a dang what I have to say. You have to prove your worth. You have to prove your opinions matter as a man. But this is what happens when young men are raised by women. This honor culture. It's like, you demand respect. It's like whenever, it's like a friend of someone I know, their mom posted that their son was looking for a job. And the only job he could find was cleaning toilets at some company. And she goes, cleaning toilets is beneath my son. And I'm just like, no, it's not. No, it's not.
I clean toilets here at this office.
Yeah, well, I mean, even the guy who runs that company was like going, man, he even commented to her, like, ma'am, when I started out in this company, I started out as a janitor, cleaning toilets and picking up trash. I worked my way up and made friends with someone who worked on the line, on the assembly line. He taught me how to do that job. I became his apprentice, and then I got a job on the line. And then after I got a job on the line, I became a floor manager. After I became a floor manager, I became the assistant manager. After I became the assistant manager, I became the manager. And then I became the vice president, and now I'm running the company. So, again, that level of entitlement that a mom and forces on her sons, you're not getting that job. You're cleaning toilets is beneath you. Why? He hasn't proved himself. He hasn't even proved that he can work on an assembly line, let alone clean a toilet. Again, if you're not willing to start at the very bottom and work your way up, you're never going to be worth your medal as a man.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, again, if I as an officer or leader of soldiers am not able to do the job that my lowliest fuzzy private can do, a private that doesn't even have a rank on his chest can do, and I can't do that job that he's doing, and I can't show him that I'm willing to work and be on his level and do the things that he does, I'm not much of an officer. Now, granted, I can be busier than him for sure. Like, I have a lot more stuff going on. But if I'm not willing as an officer to do the things that he does too, then why are they going to follow me? It's like, oh, wow, he's, if like my lower enlisted go, my platoon leader's out here doing the same stuff I'm doing. That's cool. It's like he's out here willing to bleed and dig in the mud with us. That's somebody I want to follow.
Yeah.
If it's somebody that's just like, hey, this is beneath me, I need somebody to do this for me, hey, you pissant, get over here, and that's the level of entitlement that women teach young boys. And it's scary because that's what you're seeing in this honor culture that exists in particularly these ghetto gangbanger communities where it's like, that's beneath me, man. It's like, no, it's not, dude. I mean, cleaning the wall, the spray paint and graffiti paint off a wall is not beneath you. Cleaning a toilet is not beneath you.
Yeah, here's that figure that I was talking about right here. The percentage of the United States population is the figure left, and the percentage of the homicide victims percentage right from 2022. So the black population was at this point 13.6 of the population. And then the homicide, victims, 54.1%. So it goes to show you that it's black on black violence that's victimizing most of
And
this
again,
stuff.
all these black identitarians would say black on black crime is not a thing. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. Black on black crime is not a thing. Because the only thing that matters is the unicorn scenario, the occasional white on black crime, or the occasional cop shooting an unarmed black guy under disputed circumstances. That's a unicorn scenario. And again, we've talked about this before too. It seems like the less it happens, the larger the blow up is about it.
Mm-hmm.
So if this was happening more frequently, there'd be so many cases that people would get sick of seeing it, and it wouldn't be all over the news. But it happens so little that whenever it does happen, crap blows up, and they go, "This is it. This is the civil rights movement of the year." It's like, no, it's not, man. Like this is that unicorn scenario.
Yep. And if you look, we see the spike right here in it about 2019, which I'm trying to recall what kind of happened around 2019 area to 2020 to 2020 that could have caused something like this.
Like those George Floyd and that I can't remember what the guy's name was that Kyle Rittenhouse, but he was the guy that was kidnapping a kid, right?
Yeah, it was.
He's pulling a knife out of a car to stab a cop.
Jacob Blake.
Maybe? Yeah, I think Jacob Blake was the guy. Yeah.
But yeah. So, and that's the other article that I have right here, funnily enough, says from the Daily Mail, Black Lives Matter is blamed for a 32%. Oh, God, I hate these little ad things that just pop up. Go away. Oh, no. It's going to make me go to it. No. Go back. I don't care about that. Okay. There you go. Black Lives Matter is blamed for 32% spike in murder of African Americans wake of George Floyd, as killing experts claim protests scared off cops and worsened the crime spiral, which that's 100% true. Like, they called for the defunding of police. How could you not say that it scared off police? And with the whole George Floyd thing, like, every single cop is now terrified that they're going to be...
If they apply any measure of force. Like Derek Chauvin was trained to do that maneuver that he was using on George Floyd. It wasn't the him standing on his neck that killed him. It was the fentanyl that killed George
overdose.
Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
But again, they had a freaking MMA fighter give testimony going, yeah, standing on someone's neck with the knee, and it was on his back, not his neck. Standing on someone's back with your knee is going to kill them. It's like, dude. Like, yeah. A mixed martial artist came in as an expert, man. Like, are you kidding me right now? Like, that's their expert that came in.
Someone that's taken a lot of hits to the head, I wouldn't call like an expert at anything.
Exactly, yeah. So it's ridiculous. It's like, I mean, they took an MMA's expertise over a medical doctor who said, yes, the fentanyl in this guy's system is what killed him.
Yep, it says here. And again, they blame the pandemic. It says murder rate for African Americans jumped 32% during the beginning of the pandemic. The murder rate for whites increased 21% from 2019 to 2020. 2,457 more blacks died at the hands of another in 2020, and I assume they meant like another black by that. Mm-hmm. Over the decades between 2010 and 2019, 43% more blacks were killed, roughly 1,000 more than whites each year. And again, that's kind of misleading. It's like, killed for what? You
Mm-hmm.
have to include that. Criminal justice experts blame criminal justice reform and the Black Lives Matter movement. Some academic and police say that increase in gun purchases and economic inequality bear some responsibility. Yeah, because when they close down a country and the police probably aren't going to come running to you at the drop of a whim,
mm-hmm.
you need to defend yourself somehow.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, you had a lot of people who got put out of business who were working probably part-time jobs who didn't have those jobs anymore because COVID closed down everything. So don't give me this crap, And again, we were talking to we made a post on one of those things where it was like, oh, it was the body cam footage meme that we did the other day.
Yeah.
And remember that somebody commented on going, what about the thousands of people that are killed by cops? What about the thousands of black people killed by cops every year? And it's like going, there was 9 black people killed
Yeah,
by police officers.
unarmed people
Yeah.
killed by cops.
So and like we linked him to the FBI statistics. And he goes, we can't trust these statistics because police hate black people, so you can't trust that they're going to aggregate these properly. And it's just like, if that's what you believe, you are lost, my friend.
Yeah, but and it shows this little graph right here. Black Lives Matter is blamed for a huge spike in murders of African Americans. 2019 is the blue one, and the orange or yellowish looking one is 2020. And as you can see, black murder totals was 7,484 in 2019, and then it jumped to just shy of 10,000, but 9,941. Whites jumped about 2,000, but it went from 5,787 to 7,043.
And again, you can blame the closing down of the country a little bit on this. Like I said, when you have people who aren't able to go out and work and accomplish goals and feel like they're providing for themselves and their family, of course you're going to make more desperate people do more desperate things.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, what else you got? You have any memes or anything, or was there?
Oh yeah, we got plenty of memes.
We're already over time.
Oh yeah, we're way over time. But I knew it was going to be with all the graphs. I mean, here's the FBI crime statistics from 2019. I mean, I pulled it. I've been studying up on this like crazy, and like you have to remember, the only way that the Democrats and other activists like change the numbers is they add the total of the whites' murders or whatever it is. And they go, look at the total. The whites have more. Because, yeah, but we're talking about the statistics, which statistics include the population size. So if you look at the population size in comparison to the murders, it's
profound.
Way higher. Yeah,
it is a profound difference. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. But getting back to this over here, this one I'll just do real quick. This is the table from, I think this one's from 18 right here, survey. Black on white violence.
Which camera?
30 is a 30. Hispanic on black is 76 or 1%. So the white on black was like 1%. Hispanic on black is 2.5. Then white on Hispanic, it looks like it says 3.5, but 105. And then it says black on Hispanic jumps to 8.7%. Which is 264, and then it's Hispanic on white violence is 20% or 620, and then we go to black on white violence is 42.3%, which is 1,288, and this is from 2018.
That's a huge marginal difference, man. And again, with them being such a small population size, why is it that high? You can't just blame it all on racism, guys. You can't say, social injustice and inequality is the reason black people are bullying and murdering white people. It's because they were being racist first. It's like, guys, take some personal responsibility. And again, do what Jesus would do, forgive and forget.
Yeah, which this was the meme that I was talking about. We saw kind of roaming around with all the people posting. Like I said, see, it's not just single mothers or, like absentee parents. And it's the Barbie meme. It's like, Anthony Carmelo's family was already rich before all the donations. And then it's Ken telling her, so criminal violent behavior is not a socioeconomic issue?
Yeah. Again, they're not making the point that they think they're making. So you're just saying, so Carmelo's just a violent person in nature. Not a good thing. I mean, I suppose it's possible. I mean, there's a certain percentage of people who are so violent that they cannot be involved and interact with people. That's why we have prisons.
Sociopaths are a thing.
So basically you're saying, like, if this is the point they want to make, see, he came from a nice family. Well, then you're basically saying that he is a sociopathic criminal who was just looking for an excuse to stab somebody.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Then kind of getting more to the whole, like, pointing out like hypocrisy stuff right now, which is stinking Democrats didn't give a rat's ass if January 6ers received due process, but they'll fight like hell to make sure MS-13 gangbangers receive theirs.
Again, the Maryland man, that's like my buddy that posted that meme the other day, still never responded to any of the stuff I sent him. But again, what do you expect? When your worldview is based on lies, it's like, well, I'm the one sending him misinformation. He knows the truth. And the truth is that was a Maryland man, working class father of 3, who was deported wrongfully by Trump. Yep. And that's what they want to believe. That's what they want to believe because they hate. It's not that they hate the truth. It's just they hate Trump so much that the truth is what they want it to be, not what it is.
Yep. Which brings you to this next one, which is an SKS comic or cartoon. Who are you? Get the hell out of my house. And it's a guy coming in with a shotgun. You can see this guy's clearly a burglar. And then you hear, stop! When they turn around and it's a Democratic judge. You can't kick him out without due process.
Yeah, SKS cartoons always crushing it. Again, we live in a country where in some states and cities, you have a duty to flee your own home when it's being burglarized. You can't even kill somebody that walks into your house and tries to rob you. Like, no. It's your job to escape your home, run down the street naked, and say, help, someone broke into my house.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy.
So brings me to this next one. MS-13 added to LGBTQ acronym. So it's LGBTQ MS-13.
Yeah, they're just innocent baby angel Aladdins who are being marginalized. It's not his fault that he joined a gang. Again, Democrats don't believe in personal responsibility at all. It's all due to economic factors and racism is the reason people are in the situations they're in.
Mm-hmm. Which, give me 1 second here. I'm trying to fix something real quick. There we go. Next one I have is, this one I just thought was funny. The Assassin's Creed Vatican elegy.
Oh my gosh.
So since he was the last person to visit the Pope, he assassinated. They're saying that J.D. Vance assassinated him, which I think is funny, and which leads to this next one that's over here, which you'll like, is Xi Jinping. Hey, President Xi Jinping, I think we should meet. It shows him looking at the news after visiting the Pope. He's like, I don't think I want to meet with you.
I don't think I want to meet with J.D. Vance. I'm not sure what's going to happen to me after that. Yeah. What has J.D. Vance done? Again, right-wing terrorist kills the Pope, you know? I'm surprised there's not articles or suspicion. I mean, those are all joke articles from the right, but I'm surprised the left's not picking up on it, being like, he probably did do it. But again, the left hates religion. The left hates a religious authority. They hate God. They hate Jesus. So why would they pick up on it? And I mean, they're probably stoked that, another Christian died.
Exactly. And then this next one I think is great. People who bypass the legal process to migrate to the United States demand legal process before being kicked out.
Yeah. Again, rules for thee, not for me. It's like, I can break all the rules to get here, and then I get treated like a prince while I'm here, and then you have to go through all the legal loops, and the taxpayers have to pay to get me deported, have to pay the judge to rule over my case, have to pay for the plane that takes me home. Like, I mean, guys, we're getting hosed here, man. Illegal immigration hoses the local population. We're getting screwed, man.
Yep.
And again, this is what happens like the left. Like, oh, taxes, money just comes off of trees. Money, you can just print more money. Like, it's like, guys, money has value. And if you just print money, the money has less value.
Yep.
Do you not get that?
Which brings me to this next one right here. Speaking of people immigrating or, Democrats defending and trying to get people immigrated here. Here's Tim Pool talking about the fact that one senator, like Hawley Senator or something.
Whatever the guy goes to, he's flying down to El Salvador to go
on
talk
tax
with this
dollars.
Poor innocent baby angel MS-13 Aladdin.
With tax dollars. And guess what? Trying to get the citizen of El Salvador, not a citizen of the United States. Like, everyone seems to be getting confused. He is not a Maryland man. He illegally migrated.
He's an illegal El Salvadorian immigrant who moved here illegally, tried to claim asylum, and then he illegally came here, tried to get a citizenship, and then attempted to claim asylum status because he fled his country because his rival gang was going to kill him. The rival gang doesn't exist anymore, so there's no reason for him not to go back home.
Exactly. So check this out.
Is Senator Van Hollen trying to back away from Roberto Garcia, but when pressed, he admitted, yeah, the taxpayers did pay for me to go down to El Salvador, so a lot of people are pretty unhappy with this. Here's his admission.
Who did pay for this trip?
This was an officially cleared, congressional trip.
Thanks.
Yes, like every other trip.
You mean my
So not
tax dollar
only
paid for your
is
first
Senator
class
Van
plane
Hollen
ticket?
trying to back away from Roberto Garcia, but when pressed, he admitted, yeah, the taxpayers did pay for me to go down to El Salvador, so a lot of people are pretty unhappy with this. Here's his admission.
Who did pay for this trip?
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, so we did, and you see how happy he seemed about that? It's like, oh, this was approved. This was approved by Congress. I could go down there with taxpayer funds.
What a dirtbag, man. Again, we're going to go criminals have more rights than you do, citizen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you get locked up in jail, or you're a J6er who is illegally locked up for 2 years without due process or due trial, cuff shit. You're on your own. But guess what? This guy, he will fly out with our taxpayer dollars to go check and have a conversation with this guy and drink tequila down there with him. Like, don't worry, we'll get you back to America.
Yep. He said, but the last couple that I have here are kind of not really like this related, but kind of talking like communist related. Green for thee, but not for me, is the title of this one. And it says, we must fight climate change. And it's AOC and Bernie Sanders. And they said, go green, climate action. And then it's her and Bernie getting on a private jet to be flown away. You know, the two people waiting at the bus, the people that they preach to, like waiting on a bus to come pick them up. So that way they can be more climate friendly. And then we come over here to this, and this is great. It says, you know, it's Bert and Ernie. It says Bert's like, or Ernie asking, why isn't China concerned about climate change? And then Ernie's like, well, it's because they already have communist government. And that's really what the Green Deal is. It's trying to move closer to a communist government, because once the communists are in charge, they're not going to give a crap what they have to do to stay in charge.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The climate be darned, environmentalism be darned, your human rights be darned. We're just going to keep power now. That's what it's all about, man. Communism tramples human rights. That's all it does. And again, I can't believe so many people are for socialism. I can't believe so many people are for Marxism. I mean, it's crazy how many people have been brainwashed for years to believing that communism, Marxism, socialism are good things. Again, the more freedom you have, this is why the West is the best. We have the freedom. And again, our enemies are using our very freedoms against us. And they're blaming stupid stuff. They're blaming, it's all racism's fault. It's all climate change's fault. It's all, whatever. Those are the big two right there. Mm-hmm. Racism and climate and climate. So, I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, you don't care about poor people. It's like, you don't care about poor people. You don't
hate
care
the rich.
about,
Yeah.
You don't care about minorities. You don't care about the environment. It's all stuff that's sounds good in theory, but when you start breaking it down, you're like, well, if we do all the stuff that you're demanding to ask, you're going to make everybody poorer and everybody sadder and not being able to live the lives that they can live, that they've grown accustomed to.
Correct. I mean, again, it's evil. It's evil, and there's no other way to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
And people are just thrilled. I mean, people are absolutely tickled pink and thrilled to throw their rights away, and they don't realize what's actually going to come. And that's why it's like the liberal meme, where it's like somebody who moves from a communist country comes to America. Communism is so bad, we should never do it. And it's like, what's the argument from the college freshman liberal? That wasn't real communism. Yeah, it's like, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, said. College freshman tells immigrant that escaped, communist regime that wasn't real communism. I love that.
Yeah, that's the truth, man. So this is the Twins with Owasso Live. This was the Morning Loop. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you too can stay in the loop. But that is all we've got for you today. God bless you.
See you later, everybody.
These organizations that are represented in this room have marched in lockstep on false narratives, such as the Very Fine People hoax, the Covington smear, and now what's being called the Maryland Man hoax, where an MS-13 gang member adjudicated by two different judges, I believe, is just simply being referred to as a Maryland Man over and over again. Now, in an effort from the White House to expand access to new companies, you've created this new media seat. So I'm wondering if you can comment on following this expansion, you've had numerous outlets disparage the companies that you've had sit here, as well as the reporters. I'm wondering if you could comment on the unprofessional behavior, as well as elaborate if there's any plans to expand access to new companies.
Sure. Well, we certainly welcome diverse viewpoints in this room, which is one of the reasons we have you in here, and there's many new faces in this room in comparison to the previous administrations. We want to welcome all viewpoints into this room. We welcome unbiased journalists who really care about the truth and the facts and the accuracy, and you rightfully pointed out the Maryland Man story, which I, from this podium, when The Atlantic published it, on that very first day, I came to this podium and said, this is wrong. The press in this room have this story wrong, and we have seen more and more evidence come to the table that we have had all along. We were always right. The president was always on the right side of this issue to deport this illegal criminal from our community. And it is despicable to see the media continue to refer to this individual as someone who is just a peaceful man living his life in Maryland. This was and always has been an illegal criminal, an MS-13 gang member, and a designated foreign terrorist. And the administration maintains our position to deport these individuals from our community. So thank you for being here, Tim. It's great to see you.
His organization